Breaking news today. The importance of Putin and Kim's meeting. Following the global public health crisis, North Korean leader Chairman Kim Jong-un left on his first foreign visit on September 13. The spaceport at Vostochny Cosmodrome in the Amur Oblast of Russia's Far East marked his arrival as he stepped off the bulletproof train. Kim and Putin met in Kim's limousine brought all the way from Pyongyang for an extended discussion after touring the spaceport facilities and assembling launch vehicles. Mr. Putin discussed the Soviet Union's aid to North Korea during the Korean War as well as regional dynamics, economic cooperation, and humanitarian concerns. In return, Kim stated his full and unconditional support for Moscow, presumably in reference to the conflict in Ukraine. Kim traveled across Russia, stopping at aviation factories in Komsomolsk-on-Amur, a marine biology lab in Vladivostok, and the Russian Pacific Fleet in Vladivostok. The summit is being interpreted as a validation of the strategic importance of anti-American and anti-Western alliances that have already been forged. Following an unsuccessful summit between Chairman Kim and President Donald Trump in Hanoi, Vietnam in February 2019, diplomatic relations between North Korea and the United States and South Korea have been at a standstill. Therefore, Kim's meeting with Putin was a calculated move to restore North Korea's international standing through diplomatic means. Relations between Moscow and Pyongyang date back to 1950, when Stalin backed Kim's grandfather at the beginning of the Korean War. 5 countries, including North Korea, voted against a United Nations resolution in early March 2022 condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine. At the same time, Pyongyang was among the first 3 nations to recognize the independence of Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic, 2 states that Russia had occupied in eastern Ukraine. Tens of millions of artillery shells and rockets based on Soviet designs are likely in North Korea, which could provide a significant boost to the Russian army. Kim wants advanced weapon technology such as intercontinental ballistic missiles, nuclear-capable ballistic missiles, and a military reconnaissance satellite in exchange for energy, food, and other necessities. This back and forth has the potential to increase the difficulty of President Biden's security calculations in the Eurasian and Asian theaters. Kim described Russia's actions in Ukraine as a sacred fight to protect its sovereignty and security, and praised Comrade Putin during his visit. He also promised that the 2 nations would remain united in their opposition to imperialism. Considering Pyongyang's recent failed attempts to launch a military spy satellite into orbit, the meeting at the Cosmodrome has symbolic significance. Most importantly for Moscow, North Korea has weapons of Soviet vintage, similar to those used in the conflict in the Ukraine. An expert from Britain's Royal United Services Institute claims that Russia used up to 11 million shells in Ukraine in 2016 and plans to use another 7 million in 2017. Russia's defense industries have increased shell production this year, but supply has lagged behind demand because of the conflict. It is believed that North Korea has a sizable stockpile of artillery shells and rockets manufactured in the Soviet Union. Jo Chun-ryong, a member of the ruling party in charge of armaments policy, also accompanied Kim. The BM-21 Grad, a multiple rocket launcher system with a caliber of 122 mm, is the most alluring option for Russia. Russia is keen on North Korea's stockpile of Soviet-made artillery, including the 122 mm D-30 howitzers and 152 mm M1955 D-20 towed gun howitzers. Russia's T-54 and T-62 tanks are very similar to models still in use by North Korea, so the country could provide necessary replacement parts if needed. For the first time since the fall of the Soviet Union, North Korea will have significant contact with Russia, former U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton told CNN.